Just recently, about 2 weeks ago, you sent me a recording with 4 testimonials from people about the effects of synthesit on them.
I feel very good. I have gained more. I used to be at the bus stop. Back then, I couldn't make it through one bus stop. I needed to get to a seat quickly. You see, it's a person's choice. So if we have, let's say, immunity, ancestors enriched with oxygen, and a person. The environment in the body, yes, with proper live nutrition, let's say, in that case, we reduce the risks. What has changed?
Yes, it's been 4 months. People are interested in learning how synthesis works in the long term. Here, you, as a doctor, are looking at this both as a professional and as an ordinary person. Hello, dear viewers. We are on the channel of the bioactive mineral synthesit. My name is Alexander, and today we have Faat as our guest again. Faat, hello.
Good afternoon, Alexander.
Yes, we have Kazan directly on the line. Faat has been taking synthesit for about 4 months. He gave it about 3 to 3.5 months ago. The interview is already on our channel. You can take a look. Yes, I will definitely include this video in the description of this one. And dear Faat, you recently sent me a recording. About 2 weeks ago, I received a recording that contains 4 testimonials from people about the effects of synthesit, about them, the bioactive synthesit that we are discussing. And that's why in today's video, I will directly use their fragments, and at the end of our conversation, I will definitely show the entire thing to our viewers. So, these 4 testimonials, I will tweak a few moments to make sure it's not too lengthy. But this video will probably be an exclusive first video that gathers 5 testimonials from people all at once. One of them will be you, because I will ask you now to share what has happened to you over these 4 months. So, this video will probably be an exclusive first video that gathers 5 testimonials from people all at once. So, one of them will be you, because I will ask you now to share what has happened to you over these 4 months. And there will be 4 more people with whom you directly met and talked about the effects of synthesit on them. So, Faat, please go ahead and share. Fatfa, 4 months have passed. Yes. In your first video, you talked about skin, about sleep, about work capacity, about energy. What else did we have? Endurance. Yes, you mentioned what has changed. 4 months have passed. People are curious to know how synthesit works in the process, in the long run. Do you see this as a doctor? Like an ordinary person?
I'll say it again. I'm 62 years old. My father used to say, if you wake up at 50 and nothing hurts, it means you're dead. So it was considered normal to have ailments at that age. So as of today, I don't have any ailments. So I have no health problems, and that's why nothing has changed for me. That's actually a big plus. So basically, nothing has changed for me. Everything continues to be normal for me. All the functions of the body, it works well. I feel great. I can't say that I've gotten rid of anything because I didn't have anything to begin with.
But you didn't have anything to begin with.
I didn't have anything initially. I led a healthy lifestyle and maintained my health. And in this regard, I see that against the background of it. But nevertheless, I'm one of the few who takes synthesit for prevention, not for healing, from something. So I think there are athletes who take it for endurance. In this regard, I see that my energy continues to be at that level. So it's about the quality of life. My energy is like that of a young person. I don't know. A 30-year-old, 35 years old, well, okay, let's say a 35-year-old person, but not younger. And, hi, Abia. Yeah.
Faat, excuse me. Yes, I actually wanted to ask you this question. Yes, what does it look like? Yes, you take synthesit, because in that video that I'll post later, you'll be talking about how, despite leading a healthy lifestyle for many years, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you eat right, you exercise, but still, with age, the body's energy is weakening. Yes, and in any case, even if it's still, and it weakens in some way, yes. Yeah, you might not be suffering from anything serious yet, but those illnesses will come eventually, right? I mean, fatigue accumulates, and the body struggles more with pathogens and various factors, and little by little, it still comes, somehow leading to disruptions. So, Taking Synthesit, what does it feel like? You say it's like being young, so actually it's for you. I can't say that I feel good, I'm 40 years old and I felt good, but with Synthesit, of course, I feel even better, even more energetic, more resilient, I can do more. And for you, a 62-year-old person in these 4 months, how has it been? Like what?
You can really say that your life has been rewound. In the Bible, there's a phrase that says, your youth is renewed like the eagles. Eagles, when they fly away, they break their beaks, they pull out their feathers, and they renew themselves flying like they're young again. Well, it's kind of the same feeling that my life has been rewound a bit, but not just a little, but seriously. And today you can start your life. In your life, it's like starting over at a young age. Basically, that's how it should be, because this iron that we take, I believe this. I understand it this way. I came to the realization that this iron is akin to the iron that was present at the creation of the earth. So since all elements are becoming outdated now, all elements of the periodic table, because the world is aging, everything is subject to entropy. Everything is subject to the second law of thermodynamics. That's why we're already using elements of an old standard. And that's why when we got this synthesized renewed iron, it gives us the opportunity to renew our body. We feel like those people who lived before the flood, when they could live for 900 years or more. So the average age of the first settlers on Earth, whom God placed here, was 900 years or more. And then the age has started to decrease, and it's not by chance, because these elements must be the right ones. They need to be renewed so that we can achieve some results today. Because everything we have today is the best, if we eat the best, if we nourish ourselves with superfoods. However, that's not a solution to the problem, since these superfoods themselves are made from outdated elements. So we really need a radical solution to the problem. We need to recreate these elements so that these superfoods can be made from new elements. And that's the way to go. Let's say from new elements. And Pat, yes, I see that we are witnessing this now. And I feel it in myself. Basically, the body turns to a 30-year-old state.
All right, yes, I agree. Regarding eating super supplements, superfoods, stuffing ourselves with a bunch of substances, bionutrients, micronutrients, probiotics, and so on. There's actually a wonderful observation. Right now, on this day, I'm working on processing feedback from a resuscitation doctor who says that my health before the synthesis was based on 3 pillars.
So a healthy lifestyle means bifidobacterin. I know that bifidobacterin is needed for the intestines. It's essential to have a healthy microflora. And vitamins. So I was standing on these 3 legs, and the synthesis is the 4th leg, and it's the main one, because without the synthesis, those components don't provide anything. As my life has shown.
And it was only with the emergence of the synthesis in my life that I realized these 3 factors could actually work. So you absolutely pointed out the right thing, that you can eat tons of these different probiotics, yes, but it won't replace the essence. Energy is needed, tissues need to breathe. And this nephrologist noticed something very important. He is both a nephrologist and a resuscitation doctor. On top of everything, he says we doctors, resuscitation specialists, are looking for ways to help the organ breathe. Yes, it's about how to deliver oxygen to the organ, how to relieve it from hypoxia. Yes, and he says, I understand what synthesis is. Synthesis is exactly what helps all the organs and tissues in a person get that very oxygen for the organ to breathe. So how do you feel about hypoxia? Yes, so is there tissue starvation happening due to lack of oxygen?
I had thoughts about this since I was 12. I had certain understandings coming to me, well, in parallel. What this doctor received, it came to me too. The thing is, as I understand it, this synthesis doesn't just give us the opportunity to have, this is good iron, which is part of the chelated complex of hemoglobin. This is iron because it is connected to the blood. It is connected to hemoglobin, and we get hemoglobin, which specifically enriches the tissues with oxygen. And it is precisely the renewed iron that will enrich the tissues with oxygen. more effectively. If we see a phenomenon here like the multiplication of the number of synthesis of rock cells, which was impossible to achieve before, it's just that people made mistakes and it ended sadly due to the instability of the tissues. And here we see that the action of synthesis quickly restores the body. So we see that, for example, when I do push-ups afterwards, I want to repeat my experience because it feels like I'm not even tired. I'm a little tired, but the recovery happens so quickly. So this is only possible in an oxygen-rich environment. Tissues rich with oxygen. Moreover, there is a scientist, Otto Warburg, who once received the Nobel Prize for what he did. The discovery that in an oxygen-rich environment and an alkaline environment, cancer cells die, all parasites. And there are parasites, endocellular ones, as well as infectious bacteria and viruses. So we acquire this unique immunity, which is enough to, we were protected so that cancer wouldn't be a coincidence for us. It's a person's choice. If we have immunity enriched with oxygen, an alkaline environment in the body with proper nutrition, live nutrition, in that case, we move away from risks, we move away from the danger zone, and we stay in the zone of health and in the zone of youth. So an oxygen-rich environment is simply an essential part. And I see that synthesis gives us this in two actions. First of all, it's the very possibility, the choice, the right one, the right choice of elements. Secondly, the element is renewed.
Yes. And so, dear viewers, let me remind you that Faat Fatahovic is a doctor and an obstetrician gynecologist. So he has certain knowledge in various fields. Medicine. Svato Vatakovic, you said a wonderful thing that will be useful for our viewers in the future about the alkaline environment, right? Synthesit and alkaline environment. So synthesit helps deliver oxygen to the necessary cells, to the myocardial cells, let's say, in the heart, in the brain. It helps to thin the blood, the capillaries open up, which means that blood flow, lymph flow, and lymphatic drainage improve. But synthesit also helps...
These are red blood cells, not clumped together, good ones.
Yes, it also helps, of course, the same hemoglobin. What does it do? It brings oxygen back, it carries carbon dioxide, right? So it brings back blood, it carries some breakdown products of cells, yes, to the liver for disposal and so on. Here, and plus, moreover, there should be an alkaline environment. A couple of tips for our future viewers. How to achieve this alkaline environment. What foods to eat? Well, I know, for example, that drinking wormwood is good. Yes, for instance, it's beneficial. Quite enough. Sometimes, well, turmeric could be the same, I don't know. Grapefruit, I know that it's alkaline. Everyone thinks it's sour, but it's actually an alkaline product. Basically...
Here's something else to advise. Look, and that means the answer here will be paradoxical. You shouldn't look for a specific product. Instead, you need to understand the principle of alkalizing the body. We just need living cells. So we should eat foods that contain living cells. That means anything that grows, everything that grows, and anything that hasn't been thermally processed. We just need living cells. So we should eat foods that contain living cells. That is, anything that grows, everything that grows, and everything that hasn't been thermally processed are living products. So in that sense, I'll clarify once again that I'm not promoting raw foodism, but I do believe that our diet, this living food, should make up a very large percentage. So let's say it should be, you could say, in the first place. By the way, it's summer now, and it's the season for seasonal products. So let's say it should be, you could say, in the first place. Well, right now, by the way, it's summer and it's the time for seasonal products. Over there, apricots, cherries, strawberries. If, for example, people do an experiment, they will switch to this, and against the background of synthesis, let them see how they will feel. So if before I had a gradual improvement, the alkalization of the body happens precisely because of this kind of diet, you can just take this as, you see, people are starving, but if we take this kind of nutrition, it won't harm us if we do it for, say, a month or two. And, of course, there will be a question about vitamin B12, which is basically not found in plant foods. But it's not scary because it accumulates in the body. There are quite a lot of its reserves so that it doesn't get used up for 2 months. And if you don't have any issues, you won't have a vitamin B12 deficiency. And raw foodists even inject themselves with B12. So that's the problem for vegetarians. We know at the same time, you'll feel rejuvenated, you'll feel an improvement. And against the backdrop of Synthesit, that's exactly why I'm saying this. Because right now is such a period for me. It's a period for me, I decided to just eat seasonal products. It's best to get them from grandmothers to change the chemistry. No hysterics there. You also have to negotiate with these grandmothers. Because there are crafty grandmothers who go to the store, to some big place. They buy
at the market, then sit down and sell it as if it came from their own garden. So dear viewers, stay alert.
Yes, you need to be far away.
Choose the right grandmothers. And we definitely don't urge you to change your lifestyle in any way. We just advise you to take advantage of the seasonal benefits of summer and to add as many vegetables and fruits to your diet as possible that grow here and now and that do not contain harmful pesticides. Thank you for that advice. I think our viewers will find it interesting.
The question on alkalizing will be resolved.
Yes, the question about alkalizing will be resolved. And plus there's Synthesit. And I'll ask the last question. In one of the interviews which I will play after our conversation for our viewers, you spoke with Rakiya. You called her on the phone in your interview and talked to her over the phone, recorded it on camera, on speaker, and she said that she couldn't even stand on the bus for a few stops. She absolutely had to sit down. She couldn't walk. Her blood pressure was off the charts. Synthesit helped her a lot. Now she can walk and stand and she can go up some floors, I think, or maybe not go up, but
she can take this grandmother she's taking care of, move her around, and lift her and shift her, so she has become quite strong.
Yes, so she gained strength, and a very important point is that she later said at the end that she wouldn't drink anymore. Synthesit? Why, I already feel good, you know? And you recently in our conversation said that Synthesit should be taken for prevention. And you also told her that it should be taken for prevention. Can you elaborate on this topic live for our viewers? Why take Synthesit and take care of your health in general? If you already feel good?
The thing is, we all live off the resource of our health. Well, if people aren't sick, but they eat poorly and lead an unhealthy lifestyle, it just means that they are consuming that resource. And when they have any symptoms, it doesn't mean that they have diseases. That means it's already a problem at hand. At this point, you need to fight this problem. These are already the ailments that have come. If they show up in one place, they'll manifest in another. Pressure will rise. There will be headaches. There will be mood swings and joint pain. And swelling will appear. So if there's a problem in one area, there will be a problem in another. So that's why, well, this is Soviet medicine, you know. I studied, for example, at a Soviet institute, and we have this in Russia, and that's it. We inherited prevention. Prevention is better than dealing with a problem. Prevention is better. That's why I say, you know, you might not want to deal with what you should be doing right now. To prevent issues, drink Synthesit and lead a healthy lifestyle. But then necessity will force you, and when it forces you, you'll be in much worse conditions, and you'll need to climb your way out. It will be harder to get out of that pit than while you're still on top, before you fall into that pit where you are. Address your health issues. So it's better to prevent than to overcome and get rid of it later. I think wise people will understand this idea, and they prevent these problems in advance so that your health resources don't wear down. When it's already worn down and these symptoms are showing up, then that's it. There's no more resources left. It's already time, as they say, to ring the bells and take some action. Because if you don't take any action, it will only get worse.
Yes, that's why prevention, once again, prevention. But again, what does our population like? It loves it's like when the gas in the car is running low and you have 50 kilometers left, then I'll go to the gas station. This situation with how a person relates to their health is the same, yes, basically. That is, people need to, it's the same, yes, basically. So people need to, so that they realize like, damn, the gas is already gone, right? And then the expenses start, along with visits to all sorts of doctors and self-medication as well. And it gets better and worse and everything, and a person gets caught in this vicious cycle and they can't seem to get out of it. Well, of course, Synthesit will help a person replenish their resources in this situation. Yes, but it's still better, dear viewer, if you're already feeling good, to think about the future. You don't necessarily have to take Synthesit in a full capsule every day. Yes, if you're feeling good, you can take half a capsule or even a quarter of a capsule and place it under your tongue, right? That way, it gets absorbed better and goes straight into the bloodstream. So there are different methods. The issue, this question about prevention, is probably a cornerstone, and probably all over the world, not just in Russia, basically, because people love to wait until the rooster pecks them. Then the rooster pecked and I ran, and the rooster pecked, I ran, things got better, and I forgot. Then the rooster pecked again and I remembered. So, let's go ahead and play this interesting video that the esteemed Faat Fatahovic recorded for us. Thank you, and now we will say goodbye. Our viewers, keep watching this video, because now there will be a video with Faat Fatahovic, where he recorded feedback from 4 people at once. We'll watch it, and I think everyone will draw some interesting conclusions.
We greet you from Kazan. And I, having been someone who took Synthesit earlier, I gave an interview on the Synthesit channel, and I am a doctor myself. And you can find my video in the list of these videos on the Synthesit channel. Today I gathered my friends who also use this supplement, about the supplement, to share the results they had. And sitting from left to right next to me are Azat, Valentina, and Serina. And I want to interview you one by one. We'll just do a short interview about the results, our experience. I've already shared my story. What I experienced was a very strong surge of energy. Before, I couldn't do even 25 push-ups, and at 62 years old I can now do 50 push-ups, and I feel that there are no limits to this. So I feel healthy, energetic, my sleep has decreased, and I started to fall asleep faster. Yes, I've started eating less and feeling fuller. My body feels this renewal. And I want to ask my friends to share what they've experienced. What did you experience? First of all, can you answer my questions? How long have you been taking Synthesit? I started taking Synthesit 2 months ago. In the first week, I noticed that I was getting by on just a few hours of sleep. For several days in a row, I was sleeping for 4 hours and I had water. Productivity. Listen, I have a secret. How old are you? I'm 66 years old. A 66-year-old person, after you sees themselves healthy, feels healthy. I work at the factory. There were no complications. How do you feel? This, I have vitality, energy. You feel that too? Yeah. Well, tomorrow we're going to talk about living a healthy lifestyle. And you see, sometimes we don't even have much to say because we haven't had any illnesses. At 62, 65 years old, it's just that we don't really have any illnesses to mention for them to go away. So it's not that we have illnesses left, it's just that we didn't have them in the first place. You see, so Synthesit is another powerful supplement because it provides what we might not even have while we're living a healthy lifestyle. We eat right, we have a proper sleep and rest schedule. By the way, when you walk, do you use anything? I heard you do some Nordic walking. I do, yeah, especially lately in the summer. In general, against the backdrop of feeling healthier in light of our proper lifestyle. So here we also saw what we might have been lacking, and this monopolization of sleep, energy, vitality, productivity, well, that's definitely worth a lot. Even these means are worth a lot. And I believe that we will have even more to share in the future. What I wanted to add personally, I've noticed that my moles have started to lighten. So the moles have started to lighten. I have quite a few moles on my body, here on my stomach, and the dark ones have started to lighten. I also believe that this is connected to the Inquisit, which I personally believe in. What God has allowed Russian scientists to invent so that we have such a remarkable ability, a wonderful supplement. We used it for what we didn't have, naturally. In particular, I believe that there is also an increase in stem cell synthesis in each of us because we have not measured it. But we can somehow trace it based on our experiences of what we felt. So, Valentina, how long have you been taking Synthesit? Well, I started taking it, so just 20, but so one box, one box, but the effect is really this.
Very actively. First of all, it is exhausting. Sorry. I'm going to answer the call now. I'll put it on speaker. We have Rakiya with us, right? Rakiya is with us now. I will still try to get closer to the camera. And we have Rakiya, who couldn't be with us, but I asked her to call in. And we are all here live. So it turns out that Rakiya, listen, how long have you been taking Synthesit? Tell me. We are recording the interview right now. I took 3 bottles. Please, can you tell us exactly what ailments you got rid of? Tell me, how old are you? No one can see you anyway. She doesn't know. 6, 7 years old. Well, you see, we are all retirees here. Well, almost all of us. No, that's probably it. All retirees are 67 years old, okay? What happened to your body? Archiak. I had to sit down. I couldn't even stand for one stop. So what kind of weakness did you have? So there were real symptoms.
And what exactly happened?
I gained strength. Can you go to the stop now or what?
Standing.
Stop 10 standing. So standing, so she couldn't even ride one stop while sitting. I had to look for a place to sit while standing. And now I can easily stand for 10 stops. Well, I think this is a very interesting testimony going forward. What else?
Rakiya, a traditional alcoholic beverage, is known for its effectiveness in various cultural contexts. It plays a role in ensuring that individuals hired for specific tasks are well prepared and capable of performing efficiently. This prompts us to consider what methods were used before Rakiya became prevalent. Understanding the historical practices can shed light on how Rakiya emerged as a preferred choice for supporting hired individuals.
I could barely lift a bag, and now I can lift a healthy man and help him sit on the toilet. You are a hero, Dmitry Vladimirovich, a true hero. And he's just like that. He can be just like that. Skinny like me. Maybe it's nothing for you to lift him. What is he like? He's healthy, just like me. But I know that you are actually smaller than I am. So it's really amazing that you can do this. Well, that's great. That you can do this. Well, that's great. Well, sorry for the joking tone we're taking during this interview. Is there anything else you remember? Rakiya?
Blood pressure was troubling her.
Yes. She had real crises. Taking the medication didn't always help. And against the background of taking Synthesit, what happened?
So, the question is what?
And how did that manifest? So your blood pressure has normalized. Right, yes. And before, how did you feel about that blood pressure? A headache or what? Blurriness in the eyes.
Or what exactly then?
I felt it like frost. Did you measure your blood pressure? Well, let me think. What exactly were your blood pressure numbers before, both the upper and lower, and you even had to call an ambulance? In general, as I recall, the systolic pressure was 250 and the diastolic pressure was over 100. Well, I think it's an interesting result. Well, I see. That's a pre-instruction state, indeed. Well, do you have anything else to tell us? If you don't want to buy, then you still have these results, right, from Synthesit. Well, she's a pensioner, she would buy it, but as they say, people don't want to buy because they want to save money. I think you'll definitely have the opportunity to continue this, because as you know, a healthy person undoubtedly attracts wealth and prosperity. It is better to be healthy and rich than poor and poor. An Eastern proverb says this, and the Bible we believe in also talks about it. Well, thank you. All right, let's stay in touch. We wish you health and to continue on the path to better health, you see. I want to ask you one last question. So, the results of taking it stay with you for how long after? After you took a break, how long have you not been drinking Synthesit? You haven't been drinking it for about 3 months? And everything stays. So the result lasts for 3 months after she stopped drinking. And you also feel fine. And you don't feel weak. When you're traveling and you see this on the bus, and you can also lift this person up. And your blood pressure is normal now. Yes. Well, that's wonderful. All right, let's go. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now we will continue with Valentina. Well, I'm taking it. That's it. Just one more little bit. But for me, right away, first of all, it's the energy. I'm also 63 years old. Well, I'm getting enough sleep. But I've also noticed that my eyes were dry. So it's blowing. The wind is really getting into my eyes and there's no dryness at all, meaning there's moisture in my eyes. And then I had this issue with my heels, so to speak, with dryness. And so I cut them a little with the disc and it sliced that blade. And it was bleeding there just a little, and almost instantly the blood was restored and the skin has recovered to the softest. And there are no more repetitions of such dryness. And the skin it's a completely different dryness in the body. No such wells, yes, yes, yes. I'm just like this for now. So how much of this Persilina have you taken? Now there's a result, as you can clearly see. Indeed, try 3.
I started extending the plank in mid-January. And now it's synthesizing right away.
And when did you stop drinking?
I'm a bit confused already.
So you finished the bottle in mid-January? So you didn't drink for 60 days. Now there's a break.
And when I started taking Synthesit, I realized that I was tired. Like I was getting a shot. I have a habit of starting to lie down. And it turns out that since it's early, I could always feel tired. And the underarm is very thick, always weakness. It was kind of sluggish. It was in the morning hours at the beginning. But that stopped. I started sleeping well, and I felt that I actually had much more strength. But that stopped. I started sleeping well, and I felt that I actually had much more strength. I became more energetic. And also as well.
You have quite a challenging job. After all, you are also involved in caring for a person. Like, against this background too, right? Well, it's much calmer. You have some kind of something. You don't have withdrawal, you don't have any side effects. Your constructs remained after the withdrawal, right? They started to decrease and disappear.
Right now, I can't say that mine have decreased or disappeared.
It's interesting that the results stay with us, meaning we don't need it. Now, we don't get hooked. It's time to not depend on it like a drug. So we don't take it, but we remain. It seems that over time we can resume some kind of path, of course. We're just at the beginning of using this supplement, so to speak. Well, we don't have any experience yet to say how long to take it, how many days to take it. Apparently, over time, it can be resumed. Some way, of course, we are now only at the beginning of using this supplement. Let's say, well, there aren't any established practices yet to say how long to take it, how many days to take it. So I see that everyone can determine their own frequency of intake, the amount they take, and make these breaks. For me, it's just a dietary supplement, and that's why we can adjust it according to our own preferences, and we won't harm ourselves in any way. So I see that everyone can determine their own frequency of intake, the amount they take, and make these breaks. Well, for me, it's just a dietary supplement, and that's why we can adjust it according to our own preferences, and we won't harm ourselves in any way. Well, that's it. I mean,
What else can I say? A friend of mine asking me. A friend introduced me. I wasn't at work for that long. I don't know if it's self-suggestion or what, but I felt so good. I felt so good while I was taking the antibiotic. Right now, I don't want to do that. 20 pieces in total capsules. Right now, I want to drink more so that I feel even better.
people see, right? 62 years old. Well, here's the experience of older people who take Synthesit and regain their youth. You know what I want to remind all of us? What, according to scientific data, are the stem cells that our synthesit affects in terms of their multiplication. The increase in synthesis in the body, which are the source for healthy cells, for healthy tissues, and the differentiated initial structure. So we need to understand that children have 10 times more than adults, and older people have 5 times less than adults. So it turns out that older people have fewer stem cells. For synthesis, they decrease. The body has to use old cells. Their resource is 300 divisions, and it uses what is available. We need something new and young, as it can't help but reflect on the condition of the body. There was one woman among them who didn't know anything interesting about such testimonies. Maybe then I should conspire with her. I'll take an interview with her. I'll record her in short about her stiff muscles. She had stiff muscles like those from the village. Maybe then I should conspire with her. I'll take an interview with her. I'll record her stiff muscles. So she had stiff muscles like those from the village, and other muscles were also stiff. So it's very hard to move. And so, no matter what she tried, nothing helped. And against the background of Synthesit, everything started to get better for her. She's so happy, which means she bought it there, either for someone else or she took 4 for herself. So here's the little bottle. After that, she said, no, I'll keep everything for myself in short. In general, she took some action here, took some action there, took some action over there. In general, she takes 2 capsules. All right, fine. Let's wait until she comes back and you can interview her and we'll be on the channel. She is coming to us and I will interview her. Good, super, excellent. If you don't mind, I'll insert this final piece after the 4 people you interviewed. This will serve as the conclusion of our video. Dear viewers, as you understood, we had a little more conversation with Faat Fatahovic. Soon we will have another wonderful review and we will definitely include it. That's it. Thank you for watching. All the best. Goodbye, Faat Fatahovic. Goodbye.
Goodbye.